Level 1. The mistake. You are not a criminal mastermind. Let's establish that immediately. You did not plan this for months. You did not study the layout, time the guards, or case the building for weeks. You needed money. You saw an opportunity. You made a decision in about 40 seconds that will take the next 4 decades to finish making. The bank was small. A regional branch in a mid-sized city with 2 tellers, 1 security camera above the door, and a guard who was 63 years old and eating a sandwich when you walked in. You wore a hoodie. You kept your head down. You were in and out in under 3 minutes with $11,000 in a backpack that used to carry your gym clothes. You thought you were careful. You were not careful. The camera above the door got your face. The camera at the teller station got your face from a different angle. The camera in the parking lot got your face and your car and your license plate. The security guard, mid-sandwich, got a look at you on the way out and remembered your shoes because he had the same pair and thought about mentioning it and then didn't because you were pointing a gun at the room. 3 cameras, 1 witness, 1 license plate. The FBI opens a case because bank robbery is a federal crime. You are assigned to a single agent who is simultaneously managing 42 other cases and considers yours, honestly, fairly routine. He runs your photo through facial recognition, he sends emails to local police departments, he checks the databases. Then he moves on to something more pressing, because the system has limited attention and you have not yet done enough to deserve all of it. You have approximately 3 weeks before anyone seriously looks for you. Most people who do what you just did get caught within 30 days, not because the FBI is extraordinary, because the people who do what you just did cannot stop talking about it. A girlfriend, a drinking buddy, some guy at a bar who seemed trustworthy and was not trustworthy. The story comes out because human beings are not built to carry secrets that large, and that alone is enough to close most cases. You tell nobody. The 11,000 sits in a storage unit while you go back to work on Monday and pretend nothing happened. 6 months pass. Your case goes cold. The agent has newer robberies to worry about. You are technically still wanted, but you are not actively wanted. There is a difference. You could live like this for years. Some people do. You are not some people. Level 2. The pattern. You do it again. Not because you are greedy, because it worked. And because $11,000 is not actually that much money when you spread it across 6 months and a storage unit rental and the anxiety of being the kind of person who robs banks now, you need more. So you take more. 4 banks, 3 different cities, same state, similar method. Patterns are the enemy of the career criminal, and you have just created one. The FBI opens a task force, small one, 5 agents, a shared database, and a whiteboard in a field office in Cincinnati with your surveillance photos pinned across the top. They call you the tracksuit bandit in internal reports because you switched from a hoodie to a tracksuit between robberies 2 and 3, and the surveillance footage is very clear about this. Local news picks up the story. Your photos go on social media. Tips start coming in by the hundreds. You are in Ohio and Florida and Montana simultaneously, according to witnesses who are absolutely certain. The task force filters through the noise, looking for the one tip that matters. Meanwhile, you make your first serious mistake. You are scouting a potential target, and you use your phone to check the street layout. Nothing illegal. Completely normal thing to do. But your phone pings a cell tower, and that ping gets logged in a database you do not know exists. The FBI does not have your number yet, but they have a record of every phone that was in that area during your scouting window. That is 4,000 phones. They will narrow it down. Every time you scout a location, the list gets shorter. The net does not announce itself. It just gets smaller. You do not know this. You think you are being careful because you vary your targets and change your appearance slightly and never hit the same region twice in a row. You think carefulness is visible? It is not. Carefulness does not erase digital exhaust. Every phone ping, every credit card swipe, every traffic camera you drive past, every cell tower your burner phone bounces off, these things accumulate in databases you cannot see, managed by systems you cannot access, analyzed by people whose entire job is finding the pattern you do not know you are making. The net is tightening. You will not feel it until it has already closed. Level 3. The escalation. A robbery goes wrong. Not badly wrong. Nobody dies. But a security guard at the third bank in your second month of the new operation pulls his weapon, and you pull yours first, and the discharge is close enough that he loses hearing in his left ear permanently and spends 11 days in a hospital, and his family holds a press conference where his wife cries and says her husband went to work to protect people. You are no longer just a thief. You are a violent offender. The charge upgrades from armed robbery to attempted murder, and everything about your situation changes in ways you cannot fully calculate from wherever you are hiding. The task force triples in size, 15 agents now, a dedicated intelligence analyst who does nothing all day except build a profile of you, where you strike and when you strike, and the gaps between crimes, and the geographic drift that you believe is random but is not random at all, because humans are catastrophically bad at generating randomness. We repeat, we cluster, we drift in directions that feel arbitrary but are actually driven by familiarity and comfort and access to roads we already know. The analyst sees all of it. She has a map on her wall, and she has drawn a circle on it. And you are inside that circle, and the circle is getting smaller every week. Your face goes on billboards. Crime Stoppers offers $25,000 for information leading to your arrest. Your photo appears on the FBI website, not the main list yet, but a dedicated page, a narrative. The media gives you a nickname that sounds vaguely threatening and runs your story every slow news day, and you become real to people in a way that a face on a post office flyer never does. Then, your ex-girlfriend sees a piece of surveillance footage on the evening news. She does not recognize your face immediately. Your face is partially obscured, but she recognizes the way you hold the weapon, the specific angle of your elbow, the way you position your feet. She dated you for 2 years. She has seen you at a shooting range. Something clicks, and she sits with it for 3 days, and then she calls the tip line. The FBI is at her door within hours. They are very good at being at doors quickly when the information is real. She tells them everything she knows, your habits, your mannerisms, the friends she remembers, the places you liked, the city you grew up in. She does not know where you are. Nobody does. But now they know who you are, and knowing who you are is most of the work. Level 4, the manhunt. They know your name. This changes things in a way that is difficult to overstate. Before your name, you were a pattern of behavior and a set of photographs and a profile on a whiteboard. After your name, you are a person with a history and a family and an address and a social security number and 17 years of digital footprints that the FBI can now access legally with a warrant that took them 45 minutes to obtain. They know where you grew up, where you went to school, who your family is, every job you have held, every address you have lived at, every vehicle registered in your name, every person connected to you by any traceable thread. Agents, visit your parents. Your mother cries and says she does not know where you are. Your brother opens the door, looks at the badge, and closes the door without speaking. Your former coworkers are interviewed in conference rooms with recording equipment on the table. Your old roommate from 4 years ago gets a visit at his new apartment in Portland and spends 40 minutes answering questions about a person he has not thought about in years. They freeze your bank accounts. They monitor your email. They put surveillance on everyone you have ever been close to, hoping you will make contact. You are smart enough not to. But isolation is its own specific punishment. You are sleeping in motels, paying cash, using names that do not belong to you, eating gas station food, and watching the news on motel televisions that get 3 channels, one of which is running a story about you twice a week. You have been underground for 4 months. You are running out of money. Running out of money means another bank. Another bank means another risk. Another risk means another opportunity for the net to close. You know this. You do it anyway, because the alternative is surrender, and something in you is not ready for that yet. You spend 2 days scouting a target, a branch in a small town, population 900, 1 bank, 2 employees. The kind of place where the FBI is not actively running surveillance, because the FBI is focused on cities, and you are betting on that. The robbery takes 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You take $14,000. You are 3 counties away before the local sheriff gets the description right. But the bank installed a new security system 6 weeks ago. It captures your eyes above the mask. It captures your gait. the specific rhythm of how you move through a door. This footage uploads automatically to a federal biometric database. The match comes back in 19 minutes. The task force knows where you are. Not exactly, but within 100 miles. They mobilize everything available: roadblocks, helicopters, local law enforcement across 3 state lines, coordinating on a shared channel. Your burner phone, the one you considered safe, pings a tower outside the town. They triangulate the direction of travel. The radius shrinks from 100 miles to 50, from 50 to 20, from 20 to the stretch of highway you are currently driving at the speed limit, hands at 10 and 2, thinking you got away clean. The roadblock appears a quarter mile ahead. You see the lights and turn off before they see you. Your heart rate does something you do not have a word for. That was not random. They are looking for you specifically. Level 5. The woods. You leave the car in a grocery store parking lot and walk into the woods. It is February. The temperature is 11 degrees. You are wearing a jacket rated for autumn weather. You have $14,000 in a backpack, a handgun, 1 bottle of water, and no plan that extends beyond getting distance between yourself and the road. The woods are dense, oak and pine. The ground is frozen solid, and your footprints press into the snow with a clarity that you understand immediately is a problem. You try to step on exposed rock where you can find it. You move toward higher ground because you have a vague memory from somewhere that higher ground is tactically better, and you are not sure that applies here, but you have to do something. By nightfall, your feet are numb. You build a fire, small, low. You watch the smoke drift up through the canopy, and you think about whether smoke is visible at night, and you decide probably not, and you are wrong. But the helicopter does not come tonight, so it does not matter yet. You eat half a granola bar and drink water that has started to develop a skim of ice around the edges of the bottle, and you lie on the frozen ground, and you do not sleep, because sleeping means dying in 11-degree weather. And some part of your nervous system understands this, even when your brain is too exhausted to articulate it. Day 2. You move north because north feels like the right direction, and there is no better reason than that. Your feet have graduated from numb to something that feels almost warm, which you know from the same vague memory bank is actually worse. You find a creek and consider crossing it and do not cross it, because wet feet in 11 degrees is a mathematical death sentence. You are hungry in a way that has stopped feeling like hunger and started feeling like a persistent wrongness in your entire body. Day 3. You see a farmhouse through the trees, 1 vehicle in the driveway, light in the kitchen. You watch it for an hour. Nothing moves. You break in through a basement window because you need warmth more than you need anything else right now, including freedom. The house is empty, not abandoned. The owners are traveling. You find soup in the pantry and blankets in a hallway closet. And you eat the soup cold because you are afraid to use the stove. And you wrap yourself in the blankets, and you sleep for 11 hours in a house that is not yours, in a state you barely know, in a situation you made for yourself with one decision in a bank parking lot 14 months ago. You stay 2 days. On the second day, a neighbor drives past slowly, too slowly, the deliberate slow of someone who notices something is not right. You are out the back door and into the woods before the neighbor's car completes the turn at the end of the road. The task force finds your fire pits within 6 hours. They find the farmhouse within 12. They find your tracks in the snow, and they bring in dogs. And the dogs find you the way dogs always find people, because dogs do not get tired and do not get cold and do not get discouraged and do not have any agenda other than following the smell that is uniquely yours through miles of forest that you believed was hiding you. You hear them before you see them, baying, getting closer, adjusting when you cross water, pausing, then adjusting again. You run full sprint through undergrowth that tears your jacket and your skin and your last remaining reserves of anything. You slide down a ravine trying to get below the dog's nose level, and your ankle hits frozen rock at the bottom, and the pain is the kind of pain that makes the decision for you. You cannot run anymore. The dogs arrive. Then the handlers. Then tactical units emerging from positions in the tree line you did not see and could not have seen. Someone is giving commands, but the words do not reach you through the cold and the adrenaline and the specific silence that descends on a person when they realize it is over. You raise your hands. The ground comes up fast. Face in the frozen dirt, wrists zip-tied behind your back. The weight of multiple people holding you down against earth that smells like rot and ice in winter. A helicopter somewhere above the canopy. Rotor wash pulling at everything loose. Someone reading words into your ear that you cannot assemble into sentences yet. 15 months. That is how long you ran. It ends in a ravine in February, with your face in the dirt and your ankle broken, and $14,000 in a backpack that is now evidence. Level 6. The processing. The county jail is the first stop. They sit you in a room, and the charges get read to you by a man who reads charges for a living and has the specific flatness of someone who does something repetitive for long enough that it stops being anything other than a task. Armed robbery, 14 counts. Attempted murder. Assault with a deadly weapon. Unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Weapons violations. Interstate transportation of stolen funds. Each count carries years. Together, they carry most of the rest of your life. Your public defender is 27 years old and managing 68 active cases. She is competent the way people are competent when they are overwhelmed, which is to say mostly and under ideal circumstances, which these are not. She reviews your file and tells you the evidence is comprehensive. Surveillance footage from 11 locations. DNA from 3 crime scenes where you left biological material you did not know you left. Ballistics matching your weapon across multiple robberies. Cell tower data placing you at scouting locations. The farmhouse break-in. The biometric match. She says the word comprehensive, the way your old agent used to say the word frivolous, often enough that it stops sounding like a word. The federal prosecutor offers a deal. Plead guilty to 9 counts, 42 years. Or go to trial and let 12 people look at the evidence your public defender just described as comprehensive and decide how long you should be gone. You take the deal. The sentencing hearing takes 23 minutes. The judge asks if you understand what you are agreeing to. You say yes. He sentences you to 42 years in federal prison. No parole eligibility for the first 35. You will be 68 years old at your first parole hearing. If the parole board approves it, which your public defender says is statistically unlikely for a violent offender with your record, you will be released into a world that is 42 years ahead of the one you left. You are transferred to a maximum security federal facility 3 weeks later. The bus ride takes 9 hours. You are shackled to 7 other inmates. Nobody speaks. The facility appears on the horizon as the bus crests a hill, and the sight of it does something to the inside of your chest that you will not be able to describe for years and will never fully stop feeling. Concrete walls, guard towers, razor wire catching the last of the afternoon light. You are processed, stripped, searched, assigned a number that will be more consistently used than your name for the foreseeable future. Issued clothing that smells like industrial detergent. Assigned a cell that is 8 feet by 10 feet and contains a bunk bolted to the wall, a toilet without a seat, and a cellmate who has been here for 22 years and made the decision a long time ago to stop making conversation with new arrivals. The first week is the hardest. Then the first month is the hardest. Then the first year. 20 years pass. You are 51. Your hair is mostly gray. Your knees are bad from a fall in the yard in year 8. Your mother passed away in year 11. Your brother sent a card to the facility the year after that, and nothing since. You have not had a visitor in 6 years. You have not had a phone call in 4. The days have a structure that is the same every day, which is either a comfort or a punishment depending on the hour you ask. Count at 5 in the morning, breakfast at 6, work detail at 7, lunch. Yard, dinner, count, sleep, repeat, repeat, repeat until the repetition is the entire content of your existence, and you stop measuring time in days because days are too granular, and you start measuring it in years, and then you stop measuring it at all because measuring it does not help. Some men find religion in here. Some find education. Some find violence. You find routine, kitchen detail in the mornings, the library on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the yard when the weather allows. You keep your head down, you avoid the things that add time, you have enough time. Your parole hearing is in 7 years. You think about what you will say, what the board will ask, whether the man you are now can adequately explain the man you were then in a way that is honest and not self-serving, and actually lands with people who have heard every version of this explanation from every person who has ever sat in that chair. You think about this in the cell at night, when the facility goes quiet enough to hear your own thoughts. Outside, the FBI Most Wanted list continues without you. New faces, new names. New people making the same calculation you made in a bank parking lot, the same 40-second decision that takes decades to finish making. They think they are smarter than the people who came before them. They think they have found the angle that everyone else missed. They think careful is the same as invisible. It is not. The cameras are better now. The databases are larger. The facial recognition is faster. The cell tower triangulation is more precise. The net is tighter than it was when you first walked into that small branch bank with a hoodie and a backpack and 11,000 reasons to believe it would work out. It did not work out. It never works out. You are 51 years old in an 8x10 cell with bad knees and a parole hearing in 7 years and $600 in a prison account from kitchen detail wages and the specific kind of silence that settles on a person who has spent enough time with nothing but their own decisions for company. The list keeps moving. It always keeps moving. Nobody on it knows yet that their name will eventually come off it. Yours did.